Hi Avishai,
Hi, Yigal.
how are you doing?
Good. You?
I'm excellent. I just want to ask you, as we are both working at Guangdong Technion-Israel Institute of Technology, tell me, what brought you to GT?
Teaching opportunity by my former boss in Technion. After I finished my PhD, I was working in the lab of Professor Yoav Eishen. I was doing research there at his lab as a research fellow, we can call it. And then he told me about the opportunity in GTIIT to teach chemistry, which is one of the things I enjoyed the most during PhD. As in addition to research, we need to be TAs. So there I had the opportunity to become a lecturer. And I joined at the beginning of 2020. But unfortunately, because of COVID, I could not enter China. So during the first year, I was teaching online. After I was teaching for 1 year online, it was weird because suddenly I saw the classrooms for real. They were more quiet than the students that we've got today, but some of them were really enthusiastic about studying, about different ways of approaching a problem, not studying just by strict memorization, looking at the bigger picture of a bigger, let's say, process that somehow affects another one because they are connected. It's very different than what they are used to from before. And those students who understood this, they were amazed. So I really enjoyed working with them, with those students who understood it at the beginning. And with time, they trust us more. I don't know why is the reason that if we tell them, okay, it is different now to behave different than what you're used to the high school, and you are welcome to ask questions. You are welcome to stop me. It's not rude. I like you to ask me the question. Don't call me professor, call me by my first name. And many of them are thrilled by that, and they are happy and they cooperate. And this is, for me, the huge excitement of teaching those students these recent years, and of course hearing from them how it is to study in a Chinese high school, how it is very different what they do now in GT, which is Technion style studying and teaching. To see this shift that they are doing is really thrilling. And of course, I may be teaching them chemistry, but they teach me their culture. And this is maybe the most exciting thing being in a university in China.
So for me, the journey started when I was at California, at the University of Davis, and there was a visit from the Technion. As I'm a Technion alumni for my PhD, a visitor from the Technion that spoke was Professor Kainan, and he spoke about some...
Ehud Kainan?
Yes, and he spoke like on this amazing idea of building a campus of the Technion in China. And I said to myself, wow, this sound amazing. I need to hear what he has to offer. And he showed us a swamp, nothing. Like there was nothing there, but he showed a lot of large programs that's going to be, and what they're going to build, and how it's going to be a unique campus that join forces of both Israel and China. And I said to myself, wow, this is something I would like to try if there is a possibility. And luckily, when I was returning from the state, I met Professor Yaron, Sima Yaron from the Biotechnology, and she said, well, there is opportunity there. And I said, I need to go for it. I was so curious. It was 2017, and actually landed at Shantou, the small city in China, where Guangdong Technion-Israel Institute of Technology, GT for short, is located at 2018 at around February, end of February. I didn't know what I'm landing to. I was so curious. For me, it was something to be pioneer. I didn't know what to expect. And I was so excited to have this opportunity because my work, generally working on sustainability, environment, research, and teaching, we know kind of the usual course of, you know, the track that you do finish your PhD, you go to a postdoc, you go to a second postdoc, a third postdoc, and you try to find a junior position in some in faculty, and so on and so forth. This is kind of the regular track. And here, there was opportunity to go to something that is completely new, from the bottom to the top, like something that is like sprouting. For me, it was so exciting. I wanted to try something that I can see myself as pioneer. And this was opportunity. The Technion is coming all the way to China, to Shantou, and I told myself I must see it. So I started as a lecturer there. First thing, to become and teach the students. And I didn't know what to expect when I'm going to teach Chinese students for the first time. So the first thing I did in my first class was asking 3 questions. Why you are here? Why you choose GT? Why you choose the program that you chose, like if it's biotechnology and food engineer, chemical engineer, material science, why you chose it? And tell us something about yourself that no one knows. I want to see how they react. It was amazing to see their response. Some did it because they heard about Israel, about Einstein, about the Technion. Some did it because their parents told them this is a good opportunity. So it was really diverse, and I got this opportunity to do something that is completely innovative in the root, like in the basic of it. This is new university. This is something that most of us don't have such opportunity.
So how was it for you to come to China for the very first time?
I came for the first time to China alone. Later on, my family also came to visit or to stay for more time, for a few months. And the campus is offering a place for the kids' school, a very high standard. It's international school by international standards. It's really fun and really safe.
Generally, we can say about China.
Yes, very, very safe, I agree.
But I think for children also, they have the opportunity to learn Chinese. They can go to after class, after school activities in the city, join a football team or play instruments, musical instruments with a Chinese teacher in Chinese.
Yeah, and the university itself also trying to make sure that any needs that you have, or if you, as a family or as an individual, you're coming with the idea, it's a new university.
Were there any concerns?
In the beginning, I didn't know what to expect. Yes, I had a few things that I was worried about, but the welcome when I landed at Shantou was so warm and so felt like family-like. And everyone did 200% to make sure that I get whatever I need in order to settle. I felt I'm in the right place.
And then you came for the second time with your family. So how was it then?
For the family, they love it. And I think that GT do, again, all in their power to make sure that family are well accommodated and have all the needs to feel part of the community. This is how my family felt there, although for a short visit, but they want to go there all the time. They would like to be there.
They came in the summer or during the semester?
Both.
So they studied in the international school as well?
Yes, and enjoyed it very much. It's important to note another thing, that I think that GT is a perfect gateway to the East, to experience the Chinese culture, to experience in both terms of academia, but also industry and general culture. So this is amazing opportunity that students and faculty should take. Were you looking also for some getaway to the east?
Actually, no. I didn't have any not good or bad things to think about the East. When I came to GT, I was just looking for a good opportunity, academic opportunity, which will make me progress. And only after I came here and worked for one semester and then again, it opened my eye completely to a whole new world, Eastern culture, and that I see now as really amazing. And it changes my perspective and the way I see the world, the way I see how to communicate with people from other cultures. Since the original plan was for me to come for one semester, and eventually I'm there for now the 5th year, is that I'm feeling great inside China. I really like the Chinese culture. It really makes me feel comfortable, and Chinese people are extremely friendly, willing to help in an amazing way. It's a wonderful culture, and I also like that they are proud of their Chinese culture. They are not ashamed of it. They are proud of it, and they are willing to experience the new culture in addition. So it's not that they cancel their own culture. I think it is very important. So if we are talking about that, how is life in China for you?
For me, one of the things that I saw myself, not only as an educator, but also to be a bridge between two cultures. I saw myself as ambassador of both the Technion and Israel, and in that sense, I was receiving, as you said, a lot of new knowledge from my student. There is always a sentence that I said that we learn a lot from our teachers. We learn even more from our friends, but from our students, we learn the most. And here I had the opportunity to learn so much from them. And the change that they are going through from the first year that they are coming to the campus, still very shy, very afraid, and you get them in the end of 4 years, a very engaging student going to the top universities and see that they can communicate fluently with you and engage in research with their own question, with their own enthusiasm. This is something that I was like amazed by, and I felt like I'm doing something. I'm doing something real for them, for me, and for the bridge culture. The university has an impact that is much more than just I got a good engineer. Technion knows to do good engineer. But here we're doing something more. I feel like I'm developing kind of leaders in those sense that will bring new ideas to the table, not only in China, everywhere around the world, because they have kind of this unique way of thinking, both what we can say, it sounds cliche, but East and West together, and it's exciting for me. How you feel about your career in this respect to working in GT?
It's a great question. As I said before, I'm really into teaching. Teaching alone is not the only thing that I like. I do enjoy research as well. However, I didn't want to be a faculty member like you. For different reasons, I don't want to dedicate all my time just to that. I want to spend more time in teaching. I want to kind of combine the two of them and not dedicate most of it to the research. And GT, as you know, gives me this opportunity to participate in supervising students in research projects in your lab whenever they have any research project related to chemistry. And this is wonderful for me because, as also we were talking before about the state-of-the-art technologies and equipments that we've got, and really good students that are working with us, and really enthusiastic students that like to work with us. So to combine this research with an amazing equipment and amazing ground for that, together with the teaching, for me it is really fulfilling and makes me feel absolutely great. It's also very nice. Let's talk about equipment. Labs are absolutely fantastic. Research labs, teaching labs, state-of-the-art technologies and equipment, just wonderful. Students enjoy it, the teachers enjoy it, everyone enjoy it. We have canteen, medical service, and we have sports center, where we can talk all day about the sports center we've got in campus. 50-meter Olympic swimming pool, tennis courts, football courts, badminton courts, supermarkets inside of the campus, very convenient transportation for the ones who wants to go to the city center. Extremely convenient.
It's even too much convenient. Going around, scooters, Vespa.
Hiring the e-bike, going to the city center so easily, going around huge city with endless restaurants and attractions and parks. And of course, we get the support of everything we need from the university. It's just great. If I say that I stayed in China I planned for a semester and stayed for 5 years, and hopefully more to come, part of it is the life in campus.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it was, I'm coming originally from kibbutz, and it was kind of going from one kibbutz, one social community to another. We have our own kind of community, a lot of activities for holidays, and we are lucky to have both Chinese and Jewish holidays. We're enjoying all kind of cultural opportunity to express different culture. Even we had some Indians that showed their holidays, Greek National Day, other European country, and experienced many different type of culture within this small community. It's really exciting.
So how would you describe the life of a researcher, of a professor, a foreigner in China?
The beginning was really interesting because I built my lab online. Because it was COVID time, I had one Chinese worker, amazing worker. Now she is going to be my PhD student. Through her, I built the lab from far away. Actually, when I first landed after 9 months of COVID, I already had some lab, which I never experienced before. A unique system that we built together with the idea I had that I can have a very unique set that I can control the environment from one side and get all what we call the volatile fingerprint of the microbes, what they do. So we have kind of unique fingerprint, and all of that was built when I was away. And then, of course, I came and started to build my own reputation, and I got students. And actually, I got students that finish their first degree, their bachelor degree in GT, and now continue with me to their master and PhD. And this is kind of, for me, as educator and research, was like, that's what I dream. That's what I want. There are a lot of challenge because, again, there are cultural gap in the way that the Chinese academy is working versus the Israeli academy. And we are working exactly like the Technion style, same standard for faculty, same way of working. In China, usually they work as a pyramid. There is top professor, beneath it several other professors. So the young middle-level professor in China are actually like a PhD or postdoc that has more capabilities, but they want much more freedom. And we get it in our campus. I have my own thing. So it's part of the challenge. It's make life more interesting, and part of the reason that people, and I think that one of the huge advantage that this kind of campus is bringing certain type of people that has both this kind of curiosity and courage to go to something that is new, very pioneering, then we are kind of this community that can tackle those things and do something that is much better in a way. Here it's new. People will be much more open to new ideas. So both the Chinese side and the Israeli side can earn from this. And this, I feel in my research that I can enjoy both worlds.
So actually you can say that the Technion is very experienced but older, and GT is very new but state of the art and modern, and students that are coming to GT can enjoy both worlds. So it gave me a whole new perspective and tools to communicate with other people from different cultures, from different countries. It is something that I could really use in the future a lot and all the time, and I could only appreciate that.
One of the advantages here is that we are working very closely with the Technion. And actually I have 6 students. All of them has also affiliated research from the Technion. So they're enjoying both of the world. And they also obligate to do between 1 semester, if they are doing master, to 2 semesters at the Technion in Israel. So this is also the culture, they experience the culture here in the Technion. And it also gives them opportunity to see a different set of research resource, and they have another way to do the research at the Technion with another peer colleague. So they can have a very unique set of tools during the research. For instance, student you mentioned, in my lab, she is doing the biodegradation of the plastic in unique system we have, and to check the biology behind it. In the Technion, she experienced the chemistry behind it. She can design the polymer, she can optimize the synthesis. So she enjoy both of the world. In GT is creating really significant and good type of result that I can go with any crazy idea I have inside my head and try to figure out how we can, again, sound like cliche, but how can we make a better environment for all of us around the world from one side, and to do some of the basic core research. The way I saw my career, I really was focused on become my own expert in the research area. My research area is dealing with sustainable waste management. I'm coming from both the field of food science, environmental and microbiology, and I want somehow to combine all those. Again, here the opportunities that I was able to receive in GT is to get what I can say my own kingdom. Really, the state of the art, as you said, the top laboratory to tackle those questions, those important questions. And we have all kinds of excited questions that are combining the Western type of thinking and academic thinking with very traditional Chinese, such as we are dealing with fermentation of unique orange peels that are only in China, called Chenpi. And we try to see how we can better do a process. This is like we're doing with wine, right? We taking wine and we age it. So some wines are much considered better after 5, 4, 10 years. Same with this orange peel, only in China, huge market. This is kind of the opportunity to bring all kind of really top scientific tool into asking this question about traditional type of food in China. Another thing that we're doing together, a huge problem, the plastic waste problem. So we're trying to tackle this by creating new biodegradable plastic. This is very interdisciplinary type of research that only when you have a group of teams that I can talk with you as a chemist, and we have chemical engineers, and I'm coming from biotechnology, we can kind of create this unique environment to answer such interdisciplinary question. And this is very exciting. And on top of that, we have our what we call Mother Institute, the Technion, to help us. So we are in a win-win-win situation.
On all the students, graduate students in GT, they actually need to stand up for the Technion level. Their referees for every step they need to pass are from Technion as well as others.
Basically, all my students will receive diploma, master or PhD from the Technion itself. The demand are similar, and the expectation are similar, and the standard are similar. I'm very happy that I have good students that show that they are able to do as good as any students in the Technion, and to advance our knowledge in those certain type of fields, enjoying both worlds.
I can say the same about the undergrad students. All the courses that we give them in GT are exactly one-to-one to the ones are given in the Technion. It's exactly the same syllabus. It's exactly the same lecture topics, exactly the same practice exercises in the tutorials. The exams are done in the same level. There are no compromises. The students in GT, they need to, again, stand up for exactly the same level as expected from a Technion student. So every student that graduates from GT, we know for sure that the students, graduated students there, are excellent. Same as Technion.
Yeah, and we can see it that when they go out there to try to do master or PhD in different kind of universities, the top universities in the world, they succeed very well. They already, unlike other university in China, they already study in English. Their English is much better than other students. They're technical English. They are already, yes, scientific, technical English, and they already have this kind of perception, like the Western perception. So I have several that went to the top universities, such as Johns Hopkins, NYU University, Weizmann Institute, Technion, all did really well. Now finishing the master, some started PhD, very successful. And this because they have kind of both worlds. The high standard of the Technion with the English course study, which is similar, kind of a win-win situation for them.
It's also kind of funny, but it's true, I do believe in this, that they study in GT from faculty, lecturers, and TAs that are coming from different countries in the world. So the students are hearing actually different accents from, for example, us. Yeah. They hear Israeli English accent from my colleague, Michael, Greek English accent, Indian accent, UK British accent, American accent, Canadian accent, even Chinese accent. So eventually when they graduate and they go and do some research, postdoc or whatever elsewhere, they are working with so many international people and they already know how to communicate, not only communication-wise, but also in terms of the hearing.
I agree. And in that sense, the colleagues we have are, as you mentioned, from all over the world. I have my neighbors to my office. One is from Canada, a professor that is highly experienced in food pathogens and marine pathogens. Next to the door, someone from China, but received most of his education in Australia, doing all kind of sensory device on our body. Another colleague from Africa that doing what we call biofilms, a professor from there, and just beneath, a professor Hardcork is from UK, Europe, a renowned, one of the top professor in starch. So we have a very good mix of young professors that just starting their way, with very experienced professor that both in terms of research and teaching. Unlike maybe some universities, everything is in eye-to-eye level. So the doors are always open and we exchange, and we are kind of small family in the biotechnology and food engineer, and we speak with each other and try to help each other and even augment resource together. We have shared lab, share equipment, share students to make sure that we optimize the resource that are available for us. So I think this first unique kind of international environment in this whole kind of Chinese setup is bringing something that I think no other place in the world can bring.
One thing that one student once told me, that it's really nice for him that he can simply knock on the door of his supervisor and directly ask a question. He doesn't need to have an official appointment. The door is really or literally always open for questions. They really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think this is something we bring to the table that you cannot find in other places in China. I think it's also important to note that for anyone who interested in to get into this East culture, the Chinese culture, GT gives kind of the best platform. You experience this culture for real, and without making it too hard. So this is unique way to understand Chinese culture and to enjoy it. The official language of the campus is English. So for Chinese professors from all around of China to come, this is to experience the Western type of culture without need to go away. And for us is to experience it, the Chinese kind of traditional way of teaching and traditional way of thinking, with the know that we have the Western base that we are familiar with.
That's very attractive for Western students who are willing to come to China, to GTIIT, and to study either undergrads or graduate studies, because, as you mentioned, it is Technion curriculum, and it is still in China, so they have the opportunity to enjoy these both worlds. It's not only, as we said before, the benefit for them, also we can benefit from that. Imagine a student coming from the West, studying here in China, in GTIIT, and graduating, coming back to the West, being able to communicate with companies, with researchers in Asia, in China, as well as in the West. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is what we said about building the bridge.
Yep.
Those students that willing to walk on this bridge, I think GT is the best place. I'm looking forward to see more and more international students appear in GT. I think it will do amazing for the campus life. I think they will find that it's extremely welcoming campus, and as we mentioned, still without hampering or lowering any teaching level, you get this kind of unique cultural feel with the academic needs that any students around the world can have. And it's also an opportunity, as I mentioned, not just for students, but for people that want to develop their career, their research career. This is a very soft cushion, a kind of a family that want them to succeed with abundance of resource. And those that are top researcher, a young researcher that feels that they want to do something pioneering, not going to those one of 1,000 universities around the world, but go to a unique place to start their own dream. I think GT is this kind of unique place.